we're going to start by talking about phone banking, which is talking to a person, but you can do it from your own home, or as we call it, calling from your couch. All you need is a phone, a tablet, or computer, and a few hours of your time. Next slide, please. Our phone calls have made a huge difference. Over 500 volunteer shifts were completed and 60,000 calls were made. And just look at what we accomplished. We made over 8,000 calls in the California Central Valley. We helped elect Judge Janet Protasewicz in Wisconsin. We helped pass a state constitutional amendment to protect women's right to choose in Ohio. We helped flip the Virginia state legislature blue. And just the other day, after 365 volunteer shifts and over 6,000 conversations with voters in Queens and Nassau County, we were able to flip George Santos's seat. So we are on a roll, and let's keep that momentum going. Next slide, please. So what happens in a phone bank? We open with an introduction to the calls we're going to make that day. In 2024, we'll be calling the California Central Valley. We're also a designated DNC hub, and will be assigned senatorial races in Nevada and Arizona, to name a few. And we'll also be calling for close down ballot races for state leg and congressional races in Arizona and Nevada. So during a phone bank, you get to choose which calls you want to make and get moved into a breakout room for training. There you learn how to use the platform, you review the script, and you start calling. Our calls target specific voters. At the beginning of a campaign, we target low propensity Democratic voters and independents for voter ID. We ask them if they are strong Democrats, lean Democrats, or if they're undecided. The next phase of calling is focused on the people who reported they were lean Democratic or undecided, and even sometimes lean Republican. These are called persuasion calls. And we ask them about their values, what issues they're most concerned about. And then if it makes sense, we match them up with the candidate we're supporting. Once early voting starts, we're calling all those people we've defined as supporters, all those, and ask them to make a voting plan, when, where, and how they're going to vote, early or in person on election day, or are they going to vote by mail? And this is for everybody on this call, have you mailed your ballot yet, or is it still sitting on your kitchen counter? Yes, I am talking to you. So ultimately, elections all come down to turnout. So next slide, please. If this sounds interesting to you, but you've never phone banked before, or you phone banked and it was 4 years ago and you're feeling a little rusty and want to brush up, we have a workshop for that. On February 29th from 7 to 8 p.m., you'll learn all the basics of phone banking, as well as some Zoom basics if you need a little help with that. By the end of the class, you should be ready to start phone banking. And next slide, please. And I'm really excited about our 2024 phone bank plans. As President Biden says, it's a big effing deal. So starting February 21st, we have our first pre-primary phone bank, and we're calling into CD22. And as Bruce mentioned, because California is a jungle primary, the winners of these primary are the top 2 vote getters. And there's a real chance in CD22 that 2 Republicans could win the primary. So making these calls is really important. We will also be calling in support of Adam Gray in CD 13. And if you're new to phone banking and want super easy calls, we're calling former phone bankers and asking them to sign up for some shifts because we need all hands on deck. When people vote in a primary, they are more likely to vote in the general election. So on February 28th, there is a statewide Day of Action phone bank. And this is through the California Democratic Party. It's going to be a star-studded phone bank with politicians dropping in throughout the phone bank. And we'll be offering calls to CD 22, 13, 3, 27, and 45. Then we are concentrating on turnout for the primary, and we want to avoid a nightmare scenario in California 22, where too many Democrats sit out the primary election. So we are calling March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. We really need your help. Please take a moment and sign up right now.